We have great news. The next governor of Kentucky is with us this morning. How about that? And as Chris pointed out, gentlemen, you are addressing not only the concerns of electric cooperatives, but through the leadership of our cooperatives, the concerns of Kentucky. The board members in this room, as Chris also said, represent 1.7 million Kentuckians. This is a good pipeline you have for voters all across the state, and we certainly are anxious to hear your remarks. We had a coin flip a moment ago, backstage, if you will, to be able to determine the order of our opening and closing remarks. And after that, we have 3 minutes to begin with Attorney General Jack Conway.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Joe, and thank you to the Rural Electric Cooperatives for having me here today. There's about 41 days to go until we select the next governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so this is a big choice that's here in front of the people of Kentucky. And folks, you know, I understand Kentucky. I've delivered for Kentucky, and I have a plan for Kentucky. Our plan is focused on economic development and education. I hope you'll go to our website at conwayoverley.com. Take a look at our plan for economic development. We focus on the core strengths of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We focus on taking advantage of every tool in the toolbox and making certain we create the right environments for the jobs of the future. And we also focus on workforce. I know a lot of you working in the area of rural electric co-ops, you're probably having trouble finding workers. Particularly in rural Kentucky, and that's something big that we're going to have to focus on in the future. And that's something I want to do by re-engineering the Workforce Development Cabinet, making certain that our community and technical schools are performing up to snuff. Our education plan for the Commonwealth of Kentucky is extensive. It focuses on early childhood development and making certain that we have children ready for kindergarten, because the child that's ready for kindergarten is the one that will test well in the 3rd grade, 6th grade, go on to be college and career ready. We also focus on K through 12, but particularly on the junior and senior years of high school, helping our students make informed decisions about taking out loans, about the type of education they want moving forward, and the type of career that they want. And as many of you know, I worked in the Patent Administration. I was the guy who put pen to paper and helped write out the higher education reforms in 1997. One of the things that we were trying to do was get those community and technical schools, which are in our rural communities, in which many of you live, and to get them focused on the needs of local employers. We really, really have to focus on that. And I think I have a record of delivering for Kentucky. Please take a look at my record as Attorney General. I came in front of you 7.5 years ago and I said, look, too many people are addicted to prescription pills. Too many kids are getting solicited online. And the civil side of the office is underutilized. Well, here we are 2 terms later, working with other agencies. We've shut down half the pain clinics in this state. I reached across the aisle and worked with the Republican Attorney General of Florida to help shut down the pipeline of pills from that state. Our cybercrimes unit has taken 800,000 child porn images off of the internet. We have a 100% conviction rate. Heck, Joe, we even helped crack the Pappy Van Winkle case a few months ago. So we're doing a lot of good work, all right? On the civil side of the office, I've just gone after pharmaceutical companies that have lied to Medicaid and the banks that have defrauded us. And as we get going here today, I'm really eager for this discussion because I hope, as many of you remember, back when I did work in the Patent Administration, I worked on energy issues. I worked closely with the rural electric cooperatives. I chaired a task force that told the entire state that going to a deregulation of the electricity industry made no sense for a low-cost state like Kentucky that uses its electric rates to create jobs. And I hope you feel that as Attorney General of Kentucky, I've looked out for the ratepayers and economic development in rural Kentucky at every opportunity. So it's an honor to be with you once again this morning.
Thank you so much. That's Democratic Attorney General Jack Conway. Our Republican candidate for governor is Matt Bevin. 3 minutes.
Good morning again. Thank you. I've had occasion to meet a number of you out and about throughout the state, but it's good to see you all assembled and to realize some of you who I've not met, I've been in your backyards in recent days, and I appreciate you all being assembled here. This is a big decision that we have to make. I mean, we are going to choose a direction, not only an individual, but somebody to lead us in that direction. In the next couple of months, we're going to make a decision that will affect us for the next 4 years, the next 14, and the next 40. It's as simple as that. I'm not a person who has chosen a traditional path to the political arena. I've never aspired to be a politician. This is not a career for me. I'm a business person. I'm a guy who grew up in a rural setting. I grew up in a very rural setting, in a town where there really wasn't a town. It was just out in the country, in a home financially humble, below the poverty level, but very blessed with things that I think matter. I was raised with a good work ethic. I was raised in a home with strong Christian values. I was raised in a home where, frankly, a good foundation from which to launch my life. I was the second of 6 kids. We raised crops, raised animals. And for me, I wanted to go on to something more on the education front. Was able to pay my way through school, went to Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia. Got out of there and went into the military. I was an active duty Army officer for a number of years, but I got out of the military 20 some odd years ago. And since that time, I've been in the private sector. I've been an employer. We'll talk about job creation. I'm the only one who's actually done that, and I think that's important to understand. I employ even now dozens and dozens of people. I employ people who frankly have seemingly limited skills, people who don't have the education, who have less than a GED in some instances. I employ people who have PhDs in the other end of the spectrum. So while my companies, I own all or part of 10 different companies, are varied in nature, I wrestle every day, as do some of you, with how do we attract people not only to Kentucky, but to specific industries as well. Certainly our utility costs have historically been a great demand for us. If there's anything we could be great at, I mean truly a beacon for the rest of America, it would be as a manufacturer, as a manufacturing hub. We are already solid on that front, could be even more so. And certainly a key to that will be a continuation of the utility rates. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. Easier to say, harder to do. This is what we're going to have to wrestle with as we go forward. So I look forward to this dialogue. I appreciate your attention to this. And I would ask you seriously, as you consider each of us, look closely at our backgrounds, what each of us has done historically in our lives, what each of us brings to the equation in terms of opportunity. And understand that from my perspective, I think that a blank sheet of paper, which is what I will bring to the equation, is what our state needs perhaps more than anything else. Somebody who's unencumbered by any deals that have been made with anybody to this point. I think this will allow us to make the best decisions we possibly can as it relates to energy and everything else. Thank you.